Welcome, beautiful souls, to the power of Ra, and thank you for watching. This is a Tiang. Today is another day to be thankful for life and another day to be thankful for you. Today's video is about the lesser force God. Today we are going to look into the lesser and false God. What are the lesser God? Where do they come from? And how do you control them in your life? We also going to learn about the true God, where the lesser God come from. So if you really want to change something in your life spiritually, watch this video from beginning to the end, because this video is going to help you change your views about how you view God and how you view the world, because the lesser God are about the world. So to help you understand about what are the lesser God and how you control them within you, I am going to read from the book of Coming Forth by Day, the first Bible of the Nile Valley, the spiritual book that used to teach about the true God and the lesser God. Before the teaching of the lesser God into the Bible, it was already in the book of Coming Forth by Day. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book of the dead. This book, I'm going to read from the same verse I read another day in my other video where I talk about Asa and Ra. So plate 1, chapter 1, verse 1. There was something about the Neterus. Yes, the Neterus. The Neterus is the Netru is spelled by Neteru. The Netru. The Netru represent plural, many other gods. Okay, that is what the Netru represent. Otherwise, the true God, which we know is the creator, is the father, is the mother, is the love, is the peace, is the only one. It is spelled with Neter, Neter. And Neter did something. He created another God. So I will read plate 1. In the book of the dead, I will read plate 1, plate 1, chapter 1, verse 1, where it says, praise Ra when he rides in horizon eastern of heaven. Behold Osiris, the scribe of the holy offering of all gods, of gods all. What does this teaching really tell you? When it says God all, why we have many other gods? Why? Okay, so let's read in the language when it's written, the Nile Valley people language. Tuwa Ra Cafe Oefenfe Eket Optit. Optit means eastern. And Pet means heaven. On Osiris, on Neter Otep, in Neterunebu. Neterunebu, God's all. This is to say, praise Osiris, the holy scribe, the scribe of the holy offering of the all gods. This is to say, praise Osa. By the way, in another video, I said that Osa represents the God of our ancestors. Asa also represents the living human soul. It represents your soul and my soul. So you and I, we are Osa. Okay? So now, before I can talk to you about what are they? What do we have the teaching of so many gods? Let's look at the Neter itself. What is Neter? What is God? What is God? God, based on a Kemetic teaching and based on the Bible also, God is a formless energy. God does not have a form. Is a formless energy that is not limited to peace and not limited to joy and love. It is true balance. It is stillness. Okay, it has no beginning or end. God does not have a beginning or end because it wasn't born. It wasn't created. It doesn't change. Okay? God does not change. It does not have color. It has nothing. It's just a balance. It's a peace. It is joy. It is love. And that is where the concept of soul don't die came from. Because the soul, a human soul, is a God. Okay? God is peace. Jesus Christ himself confirmed it in John 14 verse 27 when he said, I am leaving with you a peace. And that peace is not a peace of the world. It's not a peace that the world can give you because the world don't have peace. Okay? It's the same thing. Peace, God is peace. So now we know what is God. Neter. Neter, this is what it say here. Okay. On Neter Otep. Neter Otep. Neter Otep, Neter means God peace. Okay. So now we know what is God. God Neter is peace, is love, is joy. Now let's come to the lesser God. What are the lesser God? Okay. The reason I'm doing this video is to help you understand that the teaching of the lesser God came from ancient Egypt. It came from the Nile Valley. Okay. So what are the lesser God? The lesser God are Netru. Okay. The lesser God, there are two terms of teaching about the lesser God, the lesser and the false. Less it's something that resembles God, but it's not the real God because it doesn't have the attribute of God. Okay? So the lesser God are the natural. These lesser God represent the principle of what make up the world. And they were created by God. God forget them. God forget them. So the lesser God are the energies that they're responsible is to create the physical world. And these are the principles that we know that attend principle, okay? Because the the Book of the Dead said that these principles were created, okay? There is no way God can be created. It is something that is not God can be created. So when we read the Book of the Dead, we learn that Ra was created, the son of 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 uh, of of Nu. Okay, so he is not the real God. He is the lesser God. And so the other principle, that other 9 principles, they were created by Ra. So they are lesser God. They are not a true God. They are lesser God, and their job is to create the world, to keep the world moving. Okay, so the lesser God represent the Netru. They resemble God, but they are not the real God. Okay, their job is to create, and they were created by the true God. They were created by peace. Okay, they are responsible for manifesting the world. Their job is to create, sustain, and even destroy. They destroy. They are responsible for creation and for the destruction the same time. Okay, because anything that is created, it does not last. It has to end. It has to stay and has to end. And this is their job. Their job is to create, to to make the creation move, and at the end of the time they have to end. Anything that is created has to end. So that is the job of Ra, that is the job of Asa, that is the job of Set, that is the job of Set, that is the job of Heru, that is the job of Nephi. Their job is to create and destroy. So they are lesser God. Okay? So when we have them in 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 the Kuch and in Kemet, this is what we use to teach people. Okay, so now let's come to the fourth God. What is a fourth God? A fourth God is something that does not bear good fruit. Okay, and the less God represents the emotion, the life force that its job is to destroy. And this less God, false God. Actually, false God, they are manifest by the less God. The less God are the one create the false God. False God represent fear, they represent jealousy, they represent um, envy, they represent confusion, they represent sadness, anger, So these lower energies, they are being manifest by the false God. Anything in the world, okay, some of the other deities, for example, the river god, the sky god, the mountain god, they are less God. They are less God. That is why when people worship many deities, some can be dedicated as the, 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 the clan divinity. I have my own clan divinity, has the wind, okay, Yum. And my other clan divinity is animals. So when people worship animals, they worship a lot of deities in the sky, and where they are worshiping less God. And those less God, they are associated with false God. And those false gods are jealousy, fear, confusion, a lot of negative energies. They are associated with negative energies. This is why you see um, um, most of people, they're showing negative energies. Because when people worship less God, all they, when people worship less God, the attribute of the true God, which is the God, which is nature, which is peace, which is love, which is joy, unconditional love, they disappear. Because unconditional love, peace and joy, they can't stay together with fear, with confusion, with jealousy, you know. They will control you. They will control this vessel, okay? So when we teach in ancient Egypt, when we have them in human, like we have said in the man, we have a set the woman, we have the other deities in the human form, we're using them to teach people that this is their job. Their job is to create, and their job is to end what they create, because what they create doesn't stay long. The only thing that stay long is nature, peace. God is the only thing that stay long, okay? And they are in different consciousness. The conscious of the true God is peace. The conscious of the true God is peace, stillness, joy, and love. That consciousness need to be reached by withdrawing from the false consciousness, which is the conscious of fear, the conscious of anger, the conscious of sadness, the conscious of grief, the conscious of pain, confusion, you know. You must withdraw from the consciousness of the false God and the lesser God in order for you to reach the consciousness of the true God, which is the true balance. Okay? So this teaching teach you that God is not to be worshipped separately. It is a consciousness within you. Okay? So how do you solve the issue of overcoming the false God and the lesser God so that you don't need to worship? Because when you overcome, when you transcend the lower consciousness, which is the lower consciousness of the false God and the less God, the where you end, you will end up in the higher consciousness. So it's about the lower consciousness and the higher consciousness. So you need to overcome the lower consciousness and reach the higher consciousness. So how do you reach the higher consciousness? You reach the higher consciousness by withdrawing from the lower consciousness, which is the fourth way of worship, the fourth way of feeling, fourth way of thinking, fourth way of seeing the world, okay, fourth way of worship. Because the true God don't need worship. Okay, when you withdraw from the world, you do not need to worship. God don't need you to worship him. God don't need anything from you. God is a peace. Okay, the only God that need worship is the God that does not have the true attribute of God, which are the God of the world. Okay, the the God of the world that people worship. People worship the God in the mountain, the river, the sky, you know. Those gods, they need to be worshipped because they want attention. If you don't do what they want, if you don't sacrifice the animal, if you don't do what they want, they will have to bring you suffering. Okay? Otherwise, the true God don't need worshiping. Okay? You understand? This is what this the book of coming forth by day, this is what it teach you. It teach you to withdraw from the false God and become you. Just about climbing up the level of consciousness, to leave down the lower consciousness and come to the higher consciousness. Okay? The Bible does say that, okay, as it has above, so has below. Do you know what does that mean? It means that the world is a God, that is the manifestation of the true God. But it just resembles the true God, but it's not the real God. It's the lower God. It's the lower God that doesn't have the attribute of God. This is why we have a lot of destruction, we have a lot of death, we have confusion, we have fear. It is the lower consciousness, it's the lower God, it's the lower world. And its job is all about that. It's all about fear. It's all about anger. It's all about sadness. But the mysteries, the truth is that you can withdraw from the lower consciousness and live your life in the higher consciousness, which is the higher God. And that's the teaching of the Kemetic spirituality, where it say that you and I are God. Okay? You and I are God. It's about climbing up the level of consciousness. Okay? That you have to withdraw your attention from the lower world and come to the higher world, where you don't have to fear, where you don't have to be fearful, where you don't have to be jealous. Okay? So, how you can withdraw from the higher world is that you have to yield from the negative energies. If you are free from fear, you're free from confusion, you're free from jealousy, you're free from anxiety, you're free from sadness, from grief, from pain, then what left? It's only peace. You become peaceful. And that is what God is. That is the peace that Jesus Christ talk about. That the peace Jesus Christ say that the peace he had, it's not the peace of the world. Because the world doesn't have that peace. The world don't have it. It only the conscious that is in you, that you need to enter it by withdrawing the attention from the world. So through meditation, through reading books, through listening to the teachers, the great teachers, the honest teachers, the teachers that teach you about what they experience, that how you withdraw your attention from the world. Okay, so that is what I have to teach you today. That is what the lesser God are. The lesser God are other God that is not the real God. The lesser God are the God that were created by the true God in order to manifest the world. The lesser God are the lowest energies that are associated with the lesser God. They are not close to peace. They are not close to the unconditional love. They are not close to joy. Because joy, peace, and love, they don't stay together with fear, with jealousy, with envy, with sadness. No, you have to withdraw from those energies that represent the world. They are about the world. And if people, I see a lot of people, they lie to themselves that they have Christ in life. But what they show in their daily life is anger, it's fear, it's jealousy, it's confusion, anxiety. So if you have these, don't say you have Christ in you, because peace is other thing than fear. It's peace is other thing than jealousy. Okay, I hope I have covered what I am here to tell you. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumb, share it with friends. If you want to understand anything about the lesser God, anything you want to know, leave your comment. And if there's any question about the lesser God or God based on of a Kemetic spirituality, leave your comment. Until we meet again, otherwise enjoy, have peace, and be well.